Full shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, just some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can pull that clown shit away. There's some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Yo, people, man, what's going on, man? What's going on? Big up everybody inside the building already. Please make sure you are smashing that like button. Please make sure you do, of course, share and subscribe. This one probably be a quick GTA before I head out. So again, please make sure you are smashing like button on entry. Of course, we've all seen the news. So I said, you know what, let's do a quick stream. You know, quick talking about it. There's a couple things that have, of course, popped off the back of the big news that we've seen today, and that is Liverpool being interested or exploring a move for Martin Zubimendi. Big up everybody, as I said, who's obviously watching this, whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching this on the replay. Big up to your damn self. Big up Ends, man. Hope you're doing well. Blessings to you and the family. Big up Tom Mizzy in the building as well, man. Hope you're doing well, my bro. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, so we've seen Fabrizio Romano. Of course, he's come out and he said, you know, Liverpool are exploring a move for Zubimendi as new midfielder, as there's a 60 million euro release clause into his contract. Talks will follow between clubs and on players' side. Big up Scraps in the building. There's quite a lot, of course. All the journals now have kind of like, you know, Paul Joyce has obviously put something out as well. David Ornstein, you know, that David Ornstein bomber. I think that's what everybody was waiting for, really and truly. Even the way he writes it, like the way he writes every, like it's like there's a certain way that he does things that people are like, yeah, this guy, yeah, he's telling the truth, man. He's saying the same thing, exploring deal. But apparently this does need to be paid in full. So none of this, you know, potentially paying more like we've seen with other clubs. They might pay more than, let's say, a release clause, but you're going to pay over, you know, installments and over a period of time. Now, of course, whether, you know, I don't know if Real Sociedad would accept something like that. I feel like you'd have to add like an extra 20 million to that kind of deal, and it would have to be really favorable, you know, for them. And of course, you know, Liverpool trying to get a lower fee kind of thing, which I know Real Sociedad ain't really trying to do. And it doesn't really seem like, you know, something that Real Sociedad would be on trying to do at this current moment in time. And of course, what I've also seen as well, you know, just even off the back of all of this Zubimendi stuff, is that we also need to try and convince this guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, it isn't necessarily just, yeah, we can pay the release clause, blah, blah, blah. And obviously, you know, how Liverpool, well, under Jurgen Klopp, how we kind of like to, you know, do things. You know, Klopp wants to speak with the manager. He wants to know about your family. He wants to know, yo, have you got a third cousin who's been jailed? Like, he needs to know all of these kind of things. So that's obviously something that we need to, you know, take a look at. Martin Zubimendi's agent, Inaki Ibanez, is well known to the Liverpool sporting director Richard Hughes. So we're hoping, of course, in terms of context to Liverpool, we're hoping that that's gonna help us in some way, shape, or form. Did you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm just praying that that's a thing, you know, that can, you know, give us a leg. If I'm being totally honest with you. Just taking a look now, I'm just literally looking at some of the other bits of news. Obviously, David Ornstein, he also mentioned Liverpool, obviously, of course, need to convince Zubimendi to leave, which a number of suitors from the Premier League and elsewhere have not managed to do so far. Zubimendi has previously attracted the interest of Arsenal and Barcelona, with the latter keen on the Spaniard as far back as last season. So this is a player that quite a lot of clubs, you know, have been, you know, fully interested in. So, yo, if they haven't been able to convince him yet, I'll be very intrigued. Like, listen, if Liverpool are able to convince him, yo, that's a coup for Liverpool. So that's obviously the optimism, you know, the optimism for myself, thinking, okay, yeah, you know what, just whatever you need to do. I don't know what it is that whether it might not even be necessarily something that he wants. It might just be a case of, you know, being loyal to Real Sociedad, you know, potentially having some pre-agreement, behind closed door agreement with another club, you know, to move later on. So we, of course, these are things that we need to kind of watch out for. I know, as it says there, Arsenal, Barcelona, who knows, Real Madrid, like there's going to be mad amount of clubs that want this guy to sign. So yeah, I think Liverpool, like I said, if we sign him, I think it's a coup. If not, it wouldn't even surprise me, because I'm just trying to think of what we could offer him that those other clubs couldn't. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like I was trying to go through the list. When you think, okay, location, well, London, Barcelona, that's already a win for those guys. So, we'd lose in that regards. So now I guess obviously you're starting to look at like, okay, manager, Hansi Flick, Mikel Arteta. If I was looking at it, again, I'm not the player and I don't know what he's looking at, I would say we'd lose on that front as well. Then I'm starting to think about the project. Now, the project is where I'm like, this is where you may be able to twang him a little piece. This is where I feel like if you're able to present something to him, obviously, if he comes into our team, I don't really know for Barcelona, like just yet. I'm not saying he doesn't start for any of these teams, by the way, but I just don't know with Barcelona, and they ain't got money and they're trying to do things, Klarna, type of vibes. Like I don't know what they're on, so I don't know how that would work with say Barcelona. But if I look at like Arsenal, for example, I think it would be more about telling him what his role would be within that team. In terms of how, of course, listen, the way that Arsenal play, really, really good football, defensively sound as well. So the football side of things, I think, is quite equal if we're basing it on what we've seen of Arne Slot so far, in pre-season. Obviously, that's not a lot, but it's all we can go on at this current moment in time, right? So, yeah, but it's just really, I think, his role. I feel like his role would be bigger at Liverpool than it would be, would I say, at an Arsenal. I'm sure Arsenal are getting or have gotten, Mikel Merino as well. So yeah, that would be very interesting. Again, I'm not saying Arsenal can't get him. I'm not saying he wouldn't want to go to Arsenal. But I would just be interested to know what type of role he would have, over there. And I just think coming to Liverpool, especially with, new manager, new kind of continuation of a project that we kind of started, I feel like that may benefit him. So that's where I feel it's the project that we can kind of sell to someone like Zubimendi. That's where I feel Liverpool are going to have to really, really, really try hard, in order to try and get him in. But I'm not that hopeful. But like I said, listen, if we get him, it will be a coup, in my personal opinion. Anyway, again, just taking a look now, see if there's anything else that I've missed. People in the chat, pick up everyone, by the way. I'll go through the comments in a sec. If there's anything that pops up ASAP, honestly, honesty is the guy, man. If you see anything popping up, just throw it in the chat, man, and of course I will read it out. Big up Scraps in the building. Big up Fabs, hope you're doing well. Big up Gramps as well, man. Hope you're doing well, my bro. Is Zubi who you would want as first choice? Yeah, like after now seeing, like after these 3 games, seeing the way that he wants his, I don't even like calling them DMs, like, and this is why, even I saw something the other day about, in answer to the question, yes, but the other day when we saw news about, there not being this specialist number 6, all of a sudden now people are throwing up every flipping specialist number 6, and names I haven't even, seen linked with Liverpool. That was my only thing, was I just, in my head anyway, I kept thinking, why are we acting like there isn't 6s out there? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, and if I'm being honest, I would think, and again, this, I don't know, I would think Liverpool would be able to forget, like, obviously the player side, because that's another part of the deal. But in terms of just fee and everything, I would think that, bro, this would be in Liverpool's remit. No one wants to pay 60 million. You don't want to pay anything up front. I get that. But surely this is within your remit, though. Surely this is something that you should, be able to kind of look at and say, okay, you know what, we're able to get this kind of deal done. We're able to do something like this. It's not outrageous money that we're having to spend to get a quality player in. So why not, you know what I mean? Get someone like him in. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, if we were to get him in, and again, this is if we are to get him in my opinion, he'd be our best player in that position. I mean, there's no one else in that position who I would trust more than him anyway. And he hasn't even kicked a ball, for Liverpool. Again, just purely basing this off of everything else, that we've seen of him. So yeah, he'd probably be my first choice. If you guys remember, you probably won't. For those obviously who've been following the channel for a minute, if you go click Zubimendi on my YouTube page, you'll see I was talking about this guy last year because I wanted to sign him last year. You know, when we got McAllister and all of that, I said, yeah, you got to get Zubimendi. Like, if we can get him in as well, imagine that, like, alongside. But it's probably a good thing we didn't, because I don't know how those two would have fared in the Klopp system, and we'd be calling Zubimendi shit. So, you know, it is what it is, man. Fabs is saying, they're saying David Ornstein is the guy, yeah? Say no more. Big up Adri. Mark Gay, 65 million pound move. Deal for Newcastle, and Yilmaz's good move for Newcastle, and Gruder 25 million deal for Newcastle, and Osula medical done deal unveiled as Newcastle United player. We saying what, Newcastle getting the business done? They needed to, man, because last season with all the injuries that they were getting, it was getting a bit crazy. It was getting a little bit crazy over on that side, man. Like, and they were having to just play some. Obviously, we saw Lewis Miley, of course, making his debut, you know, for Newcastle United. Pretty decent player as well, but I'm sure there was a better plan for him, you know, coming into the side. But hey, sometimes it's about sink or swim. You know, we saw it with Bajcetic, you know. So if you can at least keep your head above water, then you should be all right, man. Philippe saying he's got his popcorn ready for when Liverpool fumble this, bro. Brother, you know, this is why I'm not like, you don't see, I'm not super gassed about this. Like, this is, like I said, this is just more of an update, you know, for people on the channel and for everyone who's just kind of cooling at home or, you know, out and about or whatever. This is just more of an update, because the reality is nothing really is actually going on. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yes, we're exploring him. And I think the reason why it will probably seem bigger than it is, you know, for, say, Liverpool fans, what I say is just because we've been sitting here dying for a number 6, and we don't know what type of number 6, you know, that we've been trying to target. You know, we all had different names at the beginning, you know, of the summer. I know I did. You know, I mean, I kept saying about, you know, for Fofana, you know, kind of thing. So the sheer fact that we are going for, you know, someone like Zubimendi, then it kind of speaks more volumes. And at least now we're starting to get a better idea in terms of the personnel, you know, that an Arne Slot, you know, would want in his team. So yeah, man, I think that's just all it is really at this current moment in time, man. Zubimendi and Matt 10, so Bosley midfield. We are eating good A1 Wagyu. We are eating lobster. Come on. Big up Mental Wealth Seminar. To be fair, we're only inquiring. We know there's a release clause. It's all with the player. Yeah, this is what I was, you know, saying, you know, a couple of minutes ago. It is really down to the player. It really does depend on if he wants to leave to come to us. Like I said, something in my head, but I don't know. Something in my head tells me, this don't sound too certain. Do you get? And I'm not saying I don't want him. I really do want to sign Zubimendi. Something in my brain is just telling me, I don't know, man. Is this really going to be one of them ones? You know, it'll make Liverpool look stupid. Don't get twisted, but you know, it is what it is. Big up, honestly. Same question. Do you think the deal is more advanced as we think, because LFC don't leak stuff if they don't get the green light already? Who knows? Like I said, I don't really know, because from when David Ornstein said we still have to try and convince this player, I don't know. Do you get? Like, I feel like that might have been something you just leave out if that wasn't the case. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So maybe the player does want to join. Maybe I don't know. Like, honestly, like I'm really I'm really in a position where I'm like, I don't know where we stand at this current moment in time. Like, I really don't know where we stand, you know, with this kind of deal. But again, let's wait and see. Big up Alexander, by the way, in the building. Yeah. Richard Hughes does know his agent, so like I said, that may be what we can potentially use, you know, in order for us to be able to get him in. If Liverpool sees Zubimendi suits Slot, why not? Yeah, again, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think this is on, unless Liverpool are going to be real cheapskates and say we just don't want to pay the full release clause. Because remember, Sociedad are not on trying to do this lower, so we need to pay the release clause. And obviously the release clause is 60 million euros, so that's what, 50 odd million pounds. If we don't want to pay that, it's gonna be scary hours. You know, there's gonna be a flipping riot on the first game at Anfield. In fact, no, there'll be a riot at Seville if against Seville, should I say? Sorry, if it doesn't Sevilla, if it doesn't happen. Big up Promo saying this will be a great signing. Yeah, we're really good, man. Trust me, we're really good. Slot wants Liverpool to play a more possession-based game, and strengthening at number 6 with a technical player has been his priority. Yeah. We're going to get into that in a second. Zubimendi on the eye test is good, but I think the stats are kind of deceiving and not the best. I hear it. You sound like you're on Enzo's train. If you're on Enzo's train, go. Stick with your Zabozalais and that. Remember, Ornstein LFC was interested in Zabozalai and had to convince him too, and we ended up signing him. Yeah, I feel like we're Klopp though. You know what I mean? I might cuss Klopp, but Klopp is way bigger than Arne Slot. So the pool would probably be a little bit bigger. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And he's got more pedigree, like to say, yo, like you come to Liverpool, you know what I mean? You see what I've done, you see what I've been about. Yeah, I'm trying to say Slot ain't got no pedigree. So that I don't know. And again, I'm just playing more devil's advocate more than anything, because again, it could go either way. It could really go either way. But will he leave? He's rejected 4 teams out. This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying don't get like, I don't want Liverpool fans to get too overexcited. Like I said, I'm not trying to. This is just more an update more than anything. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm hoping by tomorrow's GTA that I do, I'm hoping that the news is Liverpool are in advanced talks. He's happy. Just need to agree a fee with thing, and then yeah, I mean, I think Liverpool. If the player agrees, I think Liverpool should be able to pattern up. Like the money isn't a mad thing, man. Like come on, man. But of course, there's other bits of news as well that might affect that. Big up Neil. Yo, G, you do realize we have to convince him to come. Yeah, I know. What makes me happy that we are looking at Zubimendi means we aren't just signing anyone just to sign someone. It seems that Billy Hogan, Richard Hughes weren't lying. They want quality players. There is another player, Maxine, was it Kakare, whatever his name is. I feel like that would be that's going to be a player that Liverpool are going to target. I don't know why. I keep seeing it. I've seen it on a few accounts. Yeah, got aggregators and that, of course. But I know, and Neil saying Varela, I don't see a Varela at all coming to Liverpool. I honestly don't even see that one happening. But again, listen, I could be 100% wrong. Yeah, I mean, I'm not no ITK. I'm not even going to try to pretend. I'm not going to try and lie to you guys. What I kept seeing, Liverpool wants players that can fit in easy and that are on the same levels or better than the players starting. I don't think that's too hard, to be fair. I do think the player probably is open to a move if your club is willing for it to be this open, to be honest. But I still say you fumble this. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Big up John in the cut. Guys, make sure you head on over to Keeping It GTV, man. Me and John, we did a live yesterday talking about Drizzy. So go check that out. It's Funky Ornstein yesterday. It's Funky Ornstein yesterday. We are looking for a specialist 6. Yesterday, today, Paul Joyce, LFC is looking at Zubimendi. Yeah, I know. We say what? You got the song already. You got the song already. Actually, the Indie Kayla guy was the one to report the Zubimendi stuff before Ornstein, Paul Joyce, and Fabrizio. Yeah, I hear that. He's a weird one though. That Indie guy, like he's so weird because I feel like at times, yeah, this brother might. Okay, recently I feel like he's been a bit more spot on with certain bits of news, like the Gordon stuff. I saw it on his page first before I even saw it like as an official. Oh yeah, Liverpool. He was speaking about it during the Euros, I believe. Anyway, he didn't mention the actual specific deal, but he did fully talk about. Yeah, no, Liverpool fully interested in Gordon, but of course we didn't see nothing from a Fabrizio Ornstein. So in our heads, it's like, oh, it's just rumors, and then lo and behold, come out. Liverpool were trying to do a deal blatantly behind everyone's back. Maybe he just wasn't clear to say it. So, hey, Indy, if you're watching this, my bro, like, give me a shout, man. You know what I mean? Like, I need a guy on the inside as well. You know what I mean? It can't just be all these other guys. Honestly, G, at the start of the season, they said we will buy players that fit the system the best according to data, no matter the price. Boy, that'll get put to the test. That'll get put to the test, man. John saying if we don't get in, the fan base will try to say he didn't want to come to us and that nonsense. If you pay the money, the player will come. I don't know if it's that simple though, my bro. I can't lie to you. I don't know if it's that simple because you can pay whatever price, but if you don't want to come, then he doesn't want to come. And Liverpool ain't one of them. We're going to force you by giving you extra money. Remember, we're not like Manchester United or Chelsea. You know what I mean? In that kind of situation for them, they'll be like, all right, let's say he wanted 100 bags a week. And he's like, I'm not really on coming. They'll be like, all right, fuck it, we'll give you 180. 180 with future incentives for 200 plus. Liverpool are 100% never going to do that. Ever. So, yeah, I feel like it's going to be tricky. Let a man say what he wants to say. Yeah. This still won't happen. It's just talk, potentially, man. To see the 4 teams might have just been shit, but we are Liverpool. You're talking about the biggest clubs in the world, man. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely don't think it's that at all. Like, I really don't think it's that. By tomorrow, I better see that a medical is booked 100%. Yeah, promo saying, yeah, usually they report the players agreed to join first, then that club has to. Yeah, sometimes you do see it like that. You do. That's more time I see that. Like we saw it with Alvarez and Atletico Madrid. Remember, them man didn't agree a fee, and then but they'd already agreed contract terms with what do you call it, with Alvarez. Barcelona, Dani Olmo, same thing. Couldn't agree a fee just yet. Their man were knocking Barcelona back. They were like, nah, we ain't trying to see that kind of money. Like we want it properly, etc., etc. But Dani Olmo had already agreed the contract terms with them. So yeah, this way it seems like we're trying to do both. Basically, we're trying to agree a fee and try to convince this player. I don't know. On right now, if I had to scale it 1 to 10, 10 being very likely, 1 being highly unlikely, I think I'm at a 5 right now. I genuinely believe I'm at a 5. I genuinely believe I'm at a 5. Maxence Kakare. Someone like do the the enunciation and I need to go back to French class, man. I wish I didn't drop it when I was in school. You know what I'm saying? He's cold. Kakare is another gem. Listen, Euro wanted Madrid. He went Man U. Bear players say something and end up. But this is the point. Obviously, I didn't see this message, but like I said, Manchester United are going to offer you that extra bit of money. If you're not 100% ongoing, we're going to give you. Guess what? We'll give you X amount. Now what? Do you get what I mean? And remember, ultimately, you all have a preference of clubs that you'd want to go to, but that team might still be on the list. It just might be low on the list. But if they say, we'll pay you X amount and, we'll make you this type of player, star player in the team and rare tear, you'll be ongoing at least. Do you know what I mean? I've watched quite a bit of him for Lyon and France under 21. Yeah, you and John, man, let me know. I'm going to do the research behind him. If he's someone that we're looking at anyway, I'll definitely do the research. Like I said, I've done bare Zubimendi videos before as well. So you guys just head on over to my YouTube channel, check it out. Send Diaz back to Porto and bring the guy in. Didn't that indie guy post Gordon too? Yep. Who are the 4 teams he turned down? They were, I think I had the page up. I think I took the page back down. Arsenal, Barcelona. I want to say Bayern Munich, but someone let me know in the chat. I can't remember. Might have PSG you're saying as well. Send Carvalho to Sociedad just to sweeten the pot. Also, Set can go too. I hear it. Surely we use the Caicedo money to activate his release clause if he is interested in coming. Plus, why would FSG tell Ornstein and Joyce we're just interested? I wonder how, sometimes I wonder how these things actually really work. I don't think it was even that. I don't think they told him that. I feel like it could be agent. The agent could have said something. You know what I mean? Will agent be a bit more comfortable to say something now as opposed to, keeping it quiet? G, does Zubi remind you of Xabi? I feel he reminded of certain player names. Eloramendi. Oh, yes, I forgot about him. Yeah, I don't really want to compare him to Xabi Alonso just yet. I don't think he's that type of player. It's a different type of era, and the type of player Xabi Alonso was. Yeah, I don't think he's that type of player, so to speak. But again, let's wait and see, what happens. Zubi isn't a money man, or he'd have been gone years ago from his home club. Yeah, and again, this is what I'm saying. I don't know. He could just be like, I don't want to leave, man. You hear what I mean? I don't need to leave. Not heard no one mentioned that Trent in midfield is looking unlikely now with another midfielder signing. Thank God. Yeah, well, let's wait and see on that. Big up John Conway in the cut. Zubimendi is on 57k per week. Offer him 120 per week. Tell him he will be a big part of the project. He is guaranteed a starting spot, plus give him bonuses on top. You saying what? You work for FSG? You know what the money looks like over there. Caicedo money was last year. That probably built us the Anfield Road extension. 100%. That's why when you mentioned about that, I was like, bro, I don't even think we even have that money anymore. I think that money's just blatantly disappeared. Obviously another player, and this is why I say this midfield thing is going to be very interesting because I think there's a lot of moving parts behind this. Obviously, is Wataru Endo. One of the things I think honestly put it up there anyway. Arne Slot wants Liverpool to play a more possession-based game, and strengthening the CDM role with a technical player has been a priority. Hence why Zubimendi would be someone. Maxence Kakare. He'd be another one. It seems he wants to move away from Wataru Endo, who was signed last season from Stuttgart after Liverpool. Yeah, honestly, this one makes the most sense. Even if he wasn't playing this style of football, I'd still say you need to move on from Endo anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just wouldn't for me, it was an L on Klopp for signing him in the first place. Like, it was such a waste of money, bro. Like obviously hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I don't think it benefited that much. Like where I'm like take Endo out, and I still think Liverpool do what we did last season. Like I don't maybe finish up, and I do mean very, like maybe we might have finished closer to fourth, but we still would have finished third. Maybe Villa might have had a few more points on it. Like I don't know, man. Like I don't see Endo as like, oh my goodness, thank God we had Endo. Like I said, it was one of those ones where you look at it. It's a bit like what's happening this season. You look at it and you think to yourself, really? Like there's no one else? Like you couldn't find no other DM. Like Endo happened to be the guy that you wanted to sign. Kind of figure. Remember, this ain't the time when Klopp's leaving. At this point, maybe he was thinking about it, so maybe he kind of knew or whatever. But yeah, man, that like to me, that was a dumb signing. Zubimendi first, then Nico Williams next season. Of course, yeah, that'll be sick. LFC tougher with Spurs. LFC tougher with Spurs are the only clubs in the Prem that can spend without FFP problems or PSR problems. Bro, you honestly, you and I both know it does not matter. See that 110 million that we said we had last season, yeah, that's not there no more. I don't think. Like we're gonna have to sell. I guarantee we're literally gonna have to start selling players in order for us to really start spending some money, if that's what the club wants to do anyway. Endo's too old for this uncertainty. I feel for him slightly. I don't feel for him. So I don't know, bro. Maka in that 6 was emotional to watch. I think Endo's signing freed Maka from Plantation, for fuck's sake. But this is the thing. It's like the reality. What I'm trying to explain is that Endo shouldn't have been signed in the first place. Yeah. And we shouldn't have been then looking at someone like a McAllister to play in that position. You should have just signed a proper number 6 last season, whoever that might have been, whatever that might have been. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because let's just say you signed a Yusuf Fofana, for example, last season. You'll still be using Yusuf Fofana now, and you'll be getting in Zubimendi to play alongside him. Now you've got your double pivot, no problem. Got your defensive kind of midfielder, got your deep line playmaker type of midfielder in there. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I just feel like we could have just done things so much better. You feel me? I just felt like we went for the Gravenberches. That was just opportunistic, and no one was really fucking with Gravenberch back them times as well. So do you know what I mean? Bayern weren't fucking with him. I can't remember that many clubs looking, to sign Gravenberch as well. So yeah, it was like, okay, cool, let's try and see if we can get him in. And then he didn't really play a part. Like, it's just weird. To me, it was just all weird, with the transfer dealings last season. That's why I wasn't really gassed about the window that we actually did have, if I'm being honest with you. Who decided? Szoboszlai, Endo, McAllister, Gravenberch. The reality is the only one that's probably worked out so far has been McAllister. Szoboszlai, we're like, the jury's still out, but hopefully he does. And Gravenberch, no. Endo, hell no. Like, Endo did well. Like, don't get twisted, he did okay. But when I say worked out, as in, man, are looking to shop this brother now. Like, look, we're literally looking at trying to sell him. That tells me, yeah, that I'm cool, man. So that was literally, we should have just loaned him. Should have just got him on a loan deal for a year, and then we could at least send him back, kind of thing. But yeah, man, it is what it is. But you see, Scrap, see this question? This shouldn't be like that. This is the point. This shouldn't even be the question. This shouldn't even be the question at all. This is like, there shouldn't have been a choice where it's like Endo or Fabinho. It should have been top defensive midfielder or Fabinho. Like, that should be at least a choice, kind of thing. Like, I'm not gonna praise the fact that, like I said, I'm not gonna crash it on Endo, because like I said, I thought he did calm. Last season, but you did calm to a point where I'm like, yeah, cool, but I still want you out of the club. I don't want you to stick around. If I'm gonna get in like a specialist like a Zubimendi, kind of thing, I don't necessarily need you to stay. If you stayed, I don't think I'll be too mad, but you'd have to start doing something with like a Bajcetic and sort of these other players, because I don't want too many players just hanging around, just taking up wages and stuff like that. So yeah, man, it is what it is. Big up Hash. Seems like Slot doesn't see Endo as his option anymore. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, a manager will come in and see that and just be like, bro, he needs to get out of here. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather have kept Fabinho. I hear it. But listen, man, it is what it is. I don't want to crash it on the guy anyway. Tyler Morton as well. He's another player. And again, like I said, moving parts to this whole kind of, situation. You can see here, Tyler Morton, the 21-year-old midfielder, is valued at 20 million and is wanted by RB Leipzig, among other teams. So again, if Liverpool, hopefully, if we're able to sell like Endo and Tyler Morton, let's say Tyler Morton goes for 20 mil. Endo, I don't know how much they're trying to get for him, but I can't remember how much we even paid for him. So maybe like, let's say like 20 mil, maybe something like that. So that's like 40 mil. So really, you could pay the release clause, because then you're only, what's the release clause? Like 50 odd million. So then you're only adding on an extra 10 to potentially 15 million for Zubimendi. And you're getting rid of 2 players that you don't actually really need. And still having, and you've still got other players. It's not like we're getting rid of Tyler Morton and Endo and you've got no one else. You still got other players to play there. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like then we've now got space. That's always been my thing, is that now we're gonna have space for some of these players. Yeah, do you get what I'm trying to say? So yeah, man, it's one of those, man. It's one of those. Big up K-Mac in the building. Endo grab were stinky signings. Who wanted them? Not our scouts. Hey, and they're both here at Liverpool. That's the annoying part for me. That's why you know when you guys hear me talk about how I rate the squad and stuff like that, I'm like, bro, we got players that you're just like, some of these players, you know what they remind me of? They remind me of a time when we had like Danny Murphy, Jamie Redknapp, what's his name? Is it Abo Xavier? Like it reminds me of like those like type of players where you're like, they're just they're not that good, so to speak. They're on like, oh yeah, Danny Murphy, like, oh, he's calm. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? He's not gonna do anything for you, but he's calm. That's how I see, like, look at some of these players. I'm just like, yeah, I don't really want to go down that kind of era. The only difference, I guess, is that during that period of time, obviously we had Michael Owen, obviously, one of the best strikers in the world at the time. But outside of Michael Owen, obviously Robbie Fowler was having his injuries and stuff like that. Gerrard was only really just still kind of coming, like he wasn't the Gerrard that we ended up really knowing, kind of thing. He was a kind of a headless chicken just out here doing his thing. But like, really the Barlet, the shaved head, should I say? Sorry, not Barlet. The shaved head, like that Gerrard wasn't like popping. But yeah, we didn't have like, quality in like different areas, like a top quality keeper, top quality, what do you call it? Centre back, like a quality, fullback, a good striker, like, or good winger, should I say? Like, we didn't really have enough. And then when you're dotting them around with like Danny Murphys and Xaviers and TT Cameras and all these, like all of those kind of players, that I just group them all into the same thing. They're all literally on the same kind of level. You can fight with yourselves in terms of where you place them, but they're all the same to me, man, honestly. They are players that are not shit, but won't do. Yes, thank you. They're not shit. They're definitely not shit. Like, I'm not going to call these men shit. I don't think they're shit. They're just not going to do much for my team, in my personal opinion. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I don't know, man. Biscan was, I don't know. That's real low. that's real low. That's real low. Leipzig are replacing Olmo with Turkey. So the Morton ship has sailed. I don't know, because I heard Borussia Dortmund are in for him as well. I'll take a quick look now, but I'm sure I saw Borussia Dortmund were in for him, unless they have, obviously, RB Leipzig have kind of overtaken them. Just seeing a lot of this rubbish. Borussia Dortmund, this was a week ago, has still not made an offer. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, so that one's going to be interesting. Again, there's a lot of moving parts. I think, to these, to the main news, which is, of course, Zubimendi potentially to Liverpool. If we don't sign Zubimendi, guys, let me know in the chat, and obviously we'll do this just before we head out. If we don't sign Zubimendi, who would you guys rather, like, who else would you want us to sign? Kind of thing. Like, is there another player that you think, okay, we can't get Zubimendi, but I'll be happy if we got such and such? Like, is there a player out there? Let me know what you guys, of course, think. What do you call it, in the comment section? I'd like to see some names, because obviously if we don't get Zubimendi, like, I don't want it to be a case of we're all like cussing and, red tear. I want it to at least be like, oh no, we got my man, and we can all have like that general consensus of, yeah, we can get him. No, I don't mind him. Honestly saying, Edison. Yeah, Edison seems to be done. Seems to be a good one. Le Pen and Kakari. Okay, yeah. But you're Leon. Do you know what I mean? You want the Leon players. You want the Leon players. That's why. GTV is a done deal, mate. Joyce does not talk if it's not done. Sure, Joyce spoke when we was looking at Caicedo. Edison or Varela, Anubis is saying. Gramps is asking, when was your favorite time as a Liverpool fan? 2001. 2001. Won the treble that season. I loved everything about the team during that period of time. I liked the players quite a lot. You obviously got my favorite Liverpool player, Michael Owen. We had a young Stevie G. Robbie Fowler was like, he seemed like, I wouldn't really say I saw the best of Fowler, because I feel like when I started supporting Liverpool, the year that Owen made his debut, Fowler was like, they were kicking man to the side almost for Michael Owen. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Big up John Heskey and that as well. Yeah, I mean, that little and large part, that's the real little big and small. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like that's the one I used to always like watching that. And Heskey with the, yeah, I mean, the celebration, I fucks with that. And even players like Danny Murphy, John Onorisa, one of my favorite Liverpool players. But that year, I just felt like we were so good that year. Like we were so good in terms of, remember, we're talking about coming up against Arsenal, Manchester United, by the way. So obviously that's like gonna be, quite difficult to do. But I just felt like we had a young team, but it was exciting though. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like these were like, we had those young players, but it's still dotted around with a little bit of experience, in there. Look, Sander Westerveld got 14 clean sheets that season. He was tied with Paul Jones and Fabian Barthez. Like, do you know how mad that is? We got the biggest away win that season. I'm literally looking, you guys are making me go down memory lane. Like that season was actually a mausoleum. Like, let me look at the league table. Yeah, we finished third, 1 point behind Arsenal, who finished second, and Manchester United topped the league. We actually finished 1 point ahead of Leeds United in fourth. Ipswich Town finished in fifth. Chelsea sixth. Sunderland seventh. Like, yeesh, bit crazy. But either way, like for me, like I said, man, that season was really, really good, man. Really, really good, man. And Gerard Houllier, man, he was definitely my guy. He was definitely my guy, man. Rest in peace to him, man. Big time. He's till this day, he's probably still my favorite Liverpool manager. I think I resonate with him more just because of that period of time. So yeah, he will always kind of be like my favorite Liverpool manager. Like, he's made me the happiest to ever be a Liverpool fan, if I'm being 100% honest with you. Big up Fabs, he's saying Hood Almond. Guys, you know what I mean? I'm from London, man. Do you know what I mean? West, I can't, some of these names, if it's not an African name, I definitely ain't gonna be able to pronounce it, I promise you. G putting K-Mat down. No. I'm not putting, big up K-Mat, man. Come on. He knows what it is. It's not that. I'm just saying that right now, I'm not saying that it's not going to be done. I'm not saying that Liverpool won't sign him. I want us to sign him. So I'm on that train, I promise you. I'm just saying we don't know yet. And until it's done, let's just wait and see. Heskey was a don. Yeah, bro, of course. I think the only reason we didn't win that league that season was because of Man. Yeah, bro, like I said, Man United finished on 80 points. We finished on 69. Yeah, 69. So mad because we only scored 8 less goals than them, but we conceded obviously 8 more goals than they did. So it's the fine margin. Scored more goals than Arsenal. Scored more goals than Arsenal that season. More goals, second most goals in the Premier League that year. Like, yo, man, we were serious, man. We were super serious that season. Michael Owen getting 16 goals. Emil Heskey with 14. Like, bro, don't piss me off, man. What do you mean? You know what I mean? 2 players in the top 10. 2 players in the top 10, bro. Ipswich, Marcus Stewart got 19 goals. Jesus Christ. Jimmy Floyd finished on 23 that year. Thierry Henry finished 3rd on 17. So Michael Owen got 1 less than he did. Owen, the last Liverpool player who won Ballon d'Or. Like I said, Owen's the GOAT. Like, you know what I mean? Like I keep telling people, argue with yourself about your GOATs, man. Like, you show me your Liverpool GOAT who's got Ballon d'Or, and I guarantee you won't. Unless you're of like a older generation, obviously you'll be able to show, obviously mine that. But the people now of nowadays, you ain't gonna be able to show me that. Sander was done dirty though. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, guys, we'll wrap up in like 5 minutes. If you've got any more questions, I will run through them before we head out. Like I said, just a quick GTA, man. Quick GTA. Houllier knew what it meant to win. Yeah, man. Like, Houllier had something. Like, he really understood the football club. Like, obviously, he'd been there with Roy Evans as well. So he'd been there for a minute already. Phil Thompson, of course, then coming in. Remember when he had that heart problem as well? But I felt sorry for him, man. Like, I was like, oh, right. Like, and Phil Thompson's got to manage the team. He was a dead manager as well. Like, but yeah, like, we really needed Gerald Houllier, man. And like I said, man, big up to him every single time, obviously. You could argue that's kind of like us now with all the youth players we got. We got some proper good young talent, and some of them are ready for that next step. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Where it's like I'm getting that vibe from Liverpool at this current moment in time, that we're like that team. That team, we won a treble, and that's great. We won a treble. We were, you know what I mean? We were good in that kind of sense. But you're never going to win the league, though. And that's what I want. Especially now, I'm like, I just want the league. I don't care about any competition. I don't care about the Champions League. I don't care about the FA Cup. I don't care about the Carabao Cup. I just want the league, bro. Man cannot go in my 30s and I've only seen one Premier League title. Like, do you know how long that is? Do you know seriously how long that is? One Premier League title. Feel sorry for the kids who were born like my well, luckily my son was born in the season that we won the Premier League, so he can at least say, oh yeah, my lifetime Liverpool have won it. He didn't see it, but at least in his lifetime he could claim that one. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But the reality is, one, that's dead, man. That's so dead. What players would you see go? I think I did this before, but Endo, of course, Tyler Morton. I'm a little bit iffy, but if the right fee comes in, I think I did a video on Tyler Morton. But if the right fee was to come in and we're gonna sign someone, then I'm more on him leaving. If I know we're not gonna sign someone, I'd rather actually keep Tyler Morton. Fabio Carvalho go, Sepp Vandenberg go, Gomez. If we can get a good fee for him, I would let him go as well. Sign someone else, and then the left back situation. I would like us to let one of those guys go and bring in another left back. And obviously, there are other ones like, obviously, Diaz, Nunes. I would love for them man to go, but I know that's not realistic at all. Sorry, but Endo was the reason we finished third last season. Mac in the DM with Jones, teams would have walked past our midfield, like 22-23. Can't let go Endo for just a DM would be a big mistake. This is my point. What Endo did for the team, that's what I said. I'm not going to crash it on him in terms of what he actually done for the team. What he done for the team, calm. But there shouldn't have been a situation where Endo is the guy that we have signed. I'm sorry, that is negligence from Liverpool. In any other workplace, that would be seen as negligence. You didn't sign a good player, so to speak. We signed the guy that we were all shocked was able to play good. I'm sorry, I'm not really on that. That doesn't scream ambition. That doesn't scream. We were just shocked that he turned out to be good. How can we sign a player and we're shocked that he's going to be good? I thought this is Liverpool. We shouldn't be shocked that these guys are good. We should be like, yeah, I expect this. I expect you to be this good. It shouldn't be a case of that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And then again, now look, we're looking to get rid of the guy. That tells me all I need to know. I'm like, you did good for us, 100%, 100%. You were calm. You know, you had some good games, you know, all of that kind of good stuff. But it was only good enough for me to be like, yeah, because we had nobody else. And again, that's Liverpool's problem that I've seen for years. It's always, well, it's better than what we've got. I'm like, bro, like, why does it always have to just be seen as, oh, but it's just better than what we've got? Like, why can't it be, no, this player is quality. No, this player is a top-notch player. Why can't it just be that? Why does it always have to be, yeah, it's just because we've only got this? Did you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't know. It just always feels like that's what annoys me. It always feels like that. Always feels like that. Like, oh yeah, well, he's better than Fink. It's like, what? Are we serious? I still take Caicedo over Endo now. Did you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's these kind of small things, man. Yeah, I want names, not bet. The names, I don't care about the names because Zubimendi ain't no world class player. Do you get what I'm trying to say? He's definitely not world class, but he's a good player and he's just better in terms of the role that, you know, Arne Slot wants this new specialist six that I guess we've now come to terms with. I just think that he's the best available player in that position. Obviously, if you're looking at other players like Rodgers and stuff like that, Declan Rice's and, you know, those kind of players, then yeah, of course. But in terms of if I was looking around Europe, yeah, he'd probably be, like I said, he's kind of like the first choice for many teams. So I would definitely pick someone like him. Which one is better, manager, Souness or Solskjaer? Solskjaer wasn't as bad as people make out. I just think that with everything that was going on at Manchester United, it just looked worse than it did. I'm sure he finished second as well. Sure, he finished ahead of us one season. I might just edit to Souness though. I'll just edit him. Just because the longevity, really and truly. Fam, I don't even think I would see, I didn't even think I would see one. Yeah, I know. This and again, Gramps, I'm not even asking to see 10. Listen, if I was greedy, if I was really to get in my bag and be like, yo, like, I'm trying to see Man City type of thing, you would like be shocked at the way I would speak about Liverpool. And to be honest, I probably wouldn't even support them. There's even no point. Liverpool ain't that type of club. Maybe we was once upon a time, but if I'm just talking since I've been born, since the early 90s, since I have been born and most of us have been born, since then, we don't win Premier Leagues. We've won one. We've won one in this whole time. We've won one. So when it comes to like the league and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, that's not really our place. Like we got to kind of sit down. We're living off the past glories. We're living off of all of that. I don't really care about that stuff. Like I'm all about the here and now, because you see, like in like even now, people kind of forget that past because it's the past. The people of that era, they lived it. That's what you should be doing. You should be living the moment, like not worrying about like, oh yeah, 40 years ago, Liverpool were this team. Bro, forget that, because I'm not going to be talking like, I don't even like talking about the Premier League that we won in 1920 anymore. And that was only 4 years ago, potentially going to be 5 years. So, and I don't know, because that's time ago. Like, I'm not trying to remember that. I'm trying to see, yo, what have you been doing now? You know what I know? Man City have won 4 out of the last 5 Premier League. That's what I know. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That's all now. That's all recent. Yeah, Endo. Souness is poor. The club creates moments. Yeah. The club is probably the best club in terms of creating moments, though. That's what I will say about Liverpool. Some of the moments that we've created: Champions League finals, West Ham final, FA Cup final against Arsenal. Like we've seen some serious stuff. Hey, the UEFA Cup in 2001, extra time. Like we've seen some crazy stuff at Liverpool. Don't get twisted. I'll take the Champions League over Premier. Nah. I couldn't give two shits about the Champions League like that. Even if we hadn't really actually won it, if we were a team like you see how Manchester City hadn't won the Champions League until they won the Champions League, right? For me, I always looked at that and thought, you see that Champions League, don't worry about that. That's not a necessity to win anytime soon. That ain't gonna really define you, so to speak. It will define you in terms of like a global scale on how big you are. Hence why PSG would always try to win it. But because of who Manchester City are, you need to domestically start to dominate first. Worry about, like, do it step by step. You can't do both. Do it step by step. Do it step by step. Become dominant in your own league and then worry about trying to win that Champions League. What did they do? Became dominant, won the treble that season, including the Champions League. You know what I mean? And it was like, that was like the end of that, of like, okay, we're now the best team in the last decade. You know, we've won however many Premier Leagues that they've won in like the last 10 years. We've now got that Champions League. And remember, their recent history is very recent. Do you get what I'm trying to, in terms of successful recent history, it's very recent. So of course they needed to have a base to kind of start with. We're clubs who have been doing this thing for time. So when I think about it, I'm always like, where we've already won Champions Leagues, I would be calm if you had said to me, we wouldn't have won that Champions League against Tottenham, but we would have won the league. I'll be like, yeah, that's calm. I don't care. I've seen the Champions League. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Maybe for others who haven't, fairs, you would probably pick that. But me, I don't look at the Champions League like that, because I've seen Porto win the Champions League. Like Monaco and them, man, in the final. Like, bro, I've seen teams who did not deserve to win the Champions League, i.e. Liverpool, and have won the Champions League. So I'm always like, cup competitions are cup competitions at the end of the day. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's not always going to be the best team, whereas a league season is the best team is going to win. There is no, oh yeah, one-off games, but you got 38 games. Like there's only going to be so many one-off games that you could potentially have in it. So yeah, man. But guys, we'll leave it there anyway, man. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it until tomorrow potentially, unless, you know, some big news of course comes out later on today. Then of course I will be jumping back on and dropping a video. Make sure you guys of course do smash that like button, please, on your way out of here. I don't know who else is obviously going live, but I'm sure you guys have obviously subscribed. But please make sure, if you haven't done so already, you do subscribe to my channel. Big up you guys in the chat, and yes, we are on the road to 1,500 subscribers, so please make sure you do so for me. I'll catch you guys on the other side. Peace.